Hi, I'm Daniel from Ford Audio, and in this video I'm gonna show you the new exciting features we've integrated in the current version of faIRmageddon. Let's start with the AGC button. AGC, short for Automatic Gain Compensation, ensures that regardless of which parameter you change, the loudness always stays the same. Let's hear how this sounds in comparison. Firstly, I will deactivate the AGC and apply some EQ. Now, before we continue with the rest of the new features, let me tell you that we are currently entering the beta phase of faIRmageddon. That means if you want to test this new version with its new features, you can apply for the beta test right now with a link below. The next feature I want to show you is the Export IR button. This is a feature that a lot of you guys requested, and now it's finally available. You can click right here and then export it to a WAV file. You can export it to mono or stereo. Right now it's set to mono, and therefore the Export IR button will produce a mono IR file. If you set it to stereo, it will produce a stereo IR file. The next awesome feature is Consolidate. With Consolidate, you can take the mix out of your 4 slots, including the output parameters, and merge all of it into one single slot. So basically, it's like exporting an IR file to a WAV, but instead of that, you take all of it and already merge it into a new slot. Let me show you. As you can see, slot B, C, and D are now deactivated, and your output mix has been merged into slot A and renamed Consolidate. Now you can use slot A as your new starting point, add 3 new IRs to it, make another mix, and if you want, consolidate it again and again and again, therefore enabling you to use unlimited IRs. Let's continue with the 6 new output knobs. These parameters give you unprecedented control over your own sound. Resonance, air, and bite are EQ parameters which are modeled after analog hardware. Let's hear how they sound. As you can see, resonance and air are linked in this version, but there will be a link parameter which allows you to unlink them in the future. Cap size is an amazing parameter, which allows you to change the sound of the IR as if your cabinet would be bigger or smaller. So if you have a gent or metal track and you want to have more bass resonance, just make the cap size bigger. Let me show you. Let's proceed with character. Character is a very special parameter, which is kind of similar to our spark technique. Those of you who already have one of our IR packs know that we've developed the spark technique to capture IRs more accurately and more realistically. Now you can add this warmth and character in our plugins too. Let's hear how it sounds. The last parameter in this set is attack. Now that's pretty self-explanatory. It makes the sound more direct, and if you overdo it, very aggressive. So let's talk about phase alignment. If you have a lot of IRs from different companies and different people, you probably know how difficult it is because every IR has a different phase/time alignment. The marvelous thing about faIRmageddon is you don't have to worry about that anymore. If you load an IR into faIRmageddon, it automatically pre-processes it and phase aligns it to a certain point. Right now, this point is set to 2.5 milliseconds, as you can see in the waveform views. So by default, the phase alignment is already done. But of course, if you want to have an out-of-phase sound, you can always use the delay knob right here to manually change the phase. If you want to change this alignment point from 2.5 milliseconds to something else, you can go onto the system page and set the alignment point to these different values. The alignment point also changes the processing latency of a plugin. So if you're recording or you're in a low latency environment, I would always recommend 1 milliseconds. The default maximum IR length is set to 100 milliseconds, and that's more than enough for close mics. But if you want to use some room mics or some other IRs, you can set this up to a maximum of 500 milliseconds. And that shall be all for this video. Next time we will talk about the workbench with a reference IR section and the EQ matching. I'm looking forward to read your beta application. If you haven't done so, apply right now, and I will see you in the next video. Make a difference.